All right, so it's official. China's Vice Premier Liu He is head of the country's negotiating team in trade talks. He will signal a Phase 1 deal in Washington, rather sign a Phase 1 deal next week, the 15th. President Trump announced in December, Mohammed, that the deal would be signed on, I think that's Wednesday, adding that he will later travel to Beijing to begin talks on the next phase. What are we looking for in Phase 2? And then this other issue, the world still considers China an emerging market. Would it make any impact if that designation were to change?
So it would make an impact for China, that's for sure. And you're already seeing pushback at the World Bank about continuing to lend to a country that has not only matured quite a bit, but it's itself lending to other emerging economies. In terms of Phase 2, Phase 2 is a lot more complicated than Phase 1. Phase 1 for me is a ceasefire. It's a truce. It doesn't deal with the really complex issues. And I think the outlook is still for deglobalization pressures. I'm not a buyer that Phase 1 automatically means a solid foundation, a solid stepping stone to Phase 2. I think Phase 2 is going to be really hard to achieve. And it's going to be even harder to achieve because this China-U.S. tensions now have an important national security dimension.
So let me ask you, just picking up on what you just said about deglobalization, Mohammed. I mean, is that a two-year trend or the trend of our lifetime that we'll be seeing until we're dead and gone? I mean, is this a pause? Are we going back to globalism or not?
So I think we've definitely pressed the pause button on globalization. My sense is that the next step is not to press the play again, so we don't continue economic and financial globalization, but to press rewind. So I expect we're going to have a period of deglobalizations. Hopefully, it's not going to be too acute, because if it is, markets and the global economy are not wired for deglobalization. So that's among the major uncertainties, Andy, and I have a whole list of them, by the way, of major uncertainties that are going to play out over the medium term. They're not going to play out in the next weeks and the next few months, but they're going to play out over the medium term. That's why it's more of a headache for long-term investors than the short-term tactical investor.
Mohammed, let's end on a lighter note. We know you're a big football fan. Give us your predictions for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl.
So Andy's sitting there. I have to go with the Ravens.
Yeah, baby.
On the AFC side.
Me too.
And Julie,
okay,
too. Julie's even
the
more of an original gangster when it comes to the Ravens than I am. I'm a recent convert, but go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so I'm with you, although the Chiefs will give you. And on the other side, I suspect it will be the 49ers. So it's going to be a good Super Bowl.
And for background, Mohammed, I believe you're a long-suffering Jets fan.
Ew, true?
I am, and I hate to admit this, but last weekend was a good one for Jets fans, believe it or not, because of what happened to the Patriots.
Oh, goodbye.
Dan Roberts doesn't like that.
There go the Boston viewers.
Gain. All right, Mohamed El-Erian, Chief Economic Adviser and football aficionado, thank you so much for joining us from Allianz. Appreciate it.
Hey, investors. Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.